House prices in Australia are on an upward trajectory, and Australia boasts some of the most expensive housing anywhere in the world. Are you one of the thousands of people looking to move to Australia? Or even one of the millions who live here and are wondering what else can you afford? To help you live your best life in your dream home rather than wallowing away in some bedsit somewhere. Do you even have bedsits in Australia? In this video I'm going to look at 5 different properties in Perth to see if you can't guess which one is the most expensive and which one is the cheapest. To make things more difficult and see if you're some kind of master of mansion metrics, can you even guess the correct price of each property? When we moved to Australia, the cost of housing was one of the most important factors in our move. Are these prices going to put you off, or are they yet another reason to make the dream relocation down under? Or are you just a pervert that likes looking at houses on realestate.com? Yeah, that's also me too. Here's our first property. How much is this going to be? Now this one is based in Junel, which I've been told is one of the 10th most popular places in Perth. Lots of peas. On the outside, I guess it doesn't look too special, but it does have 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 spaces for a car, and is set on 866 square meters. Now looking at the floor plan, you can see all of the bedrooms together. It's got space for a laundry and a big open plan living dining room area, and then an extra lounge. And it does look like there's a big alfresco area leading onto a pool. So if you're looking for that outdoor entertaining vibe, then this could be the place for you. Again, doesn't look anything particularly special from the outside, but it does have a massive pool. And inside looks pretty neat and tidy. Now looking at the curvature, I wonder if this is in a cul-de-sac. And that lawn looks almost fake. And what looks like a massive outdoor entertaining area with a backless garage. Somewhere to keep the cars safe, I guess. You could do a lot of entertaining in this outdoor area. I think they've added all the appliances in with CGI, so this one's ready to move into. Kitchen looks tidy enough. It is a really big area, especially by UK standards. One of the bedrooms. I think this one could be the master bedroom. Ooh, that bathroom looks like it needs a bit of updating. Or unless red is your kind of thing. Got some carpet areas. Is this a bedroom or is that other living area? I think these must be bedrooms because they're carpeted and they've got a double wardrobe. That would make more sense. Ooh, those tiles are a bit trippy. So it looks like some bits have been more recently renovated, but perhaps not the bathrooms. Big laundry. And this looks too good to be real lawn. It must be fake Astro. And I guess you could put some kind of kids entertainment stuff up here, but it's a bit of a shame because it is technically within the pool area, and I guess the regulations would mean that you couldn't really leave your kids up here unsupervised. You wouldn't want to have any accidents in the pool. Let's take a look at the map. Reasonably close to train lines and big highways, universities, and most importantly, I guess the beach. That's what people move to Perth for, right? How much would you pay for this particular property? I guess realistically we're going to see the difference between Perth and some of the other major capital cities. But if you wanted this 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 car garage on 866 square meters in Perth, you'd be expecting to pay in excess of $739,000. Is this a good price for a 4 bedroom property in Joondalup? Am I even pronouncing that correctly? Either way, let me know in the comments down below. And let's look at property number 2. Now again, this 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 4 spaces for cars, set on 615 square meters, doesn't look anything special from the outside. Looks quiet enough, a little bit dark inside, or maybe that's just a poor photo. Carpeted bedrooms with an ensuite, what looks like an old ducted aircon system, and much like property 1, they're probably going to need to update some of the bathrooms. But it looks a decent size, big dining living area, kitchen looks reasonable if not a bit dark, and proof that it does get cooler in Perth, particularly in the winter months, got a fireplace. But again, if we're going to measure the poshness scale of the bathrooms, no freestanding bath. Outside looks like nothing special, and I don't think looking at it, it has a pool. And I guess if you're into the outdoor entertaining, this property probably isn't for you because the alfresco looks quite small. But a decent size, particularly for a young family to move into. 4 bedrooms, big open plan living area, an extra lounge for the adults or the kids to play in, and a nice big garage. Now looking on the map with Clarkson, it does look like it's a bit further out than the previous property. And I guess if you were looking to go into the city, this one doesn't get much further out. But it seems to be near some schools and pretty close to the beach. How is that going to affect the property price? How much would you pay for this 4 bedroom property in Clarkson on 615 square meters? Could this be your starter or forever home? Well, if you wanted to move into this property today, you'd be expecting to pay anywhere from $649,000. Is that a good price for this property in Perth? Is that something that you could afford? Let us know in the comments down below. Now our third property is moving closer into the city, and this 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom with 2 spaces for a car is situated on 300 330 square meters. So automatically we can already see how much smaller those property sizes get the closer you move into the city. And coming from the UK, with a lot of the new builds that are going on, this property does remind me a little bit like that, except you don't get many properties in the UK with a pool or views over your own canal. Great outdoor living area, you could do some great entertaining there. And is that a lift? Nice upstairs balcony and a decent newly renovated kitchen. Look at the size of that island. Great open plan living, and look at that for a view over your backyard. Even if that isn't your backyard, it's still a nice view. Got a balcony for the master bedroom. I think on the whole this looks like a really decent property, complete with a little study so you can perv on the pool. Now I don't think this is part of the property only being 300 and something square meters, but it is something nice to look onto. But yet again, one thing that seems to be lacking here is the bathroom. Even though I'm not sure how recently it has been renovated, it does look like it's the better of all of the three. That one not so much. Second living area, and I guess good access to Woolies. And you know that the house is going to be reasonably posh if it's got a chandelier. Let's take a look at the floor plan. Oh wait, there isn't one. I'm always a bit wary of ones that don't have a floor plan. Let's look at the map instead. Now looking at it, I think it does back onto this lake area. Sorry, it wasn't a canal. And although that isn't really part of your property, I guess you do get the views and you don't have to worry about maintaining it. And definitely in comparison to the other properties in the other suburbs, if you did have to work in the city, it would be a lot more accessible to you. I just don't know where the nearest train station would be. Stirling, I guess, which isn't too far. How much would you pay for a house like this in Perth? Well, if you were looking at this 4-bedroom property on 330 square meters of land, you'd be expecting to pay anywhere from about $1.4 million. Is that a good price for Perth or for any property this close to a major capital city? If this one's a little bit of you, tell us in the comments down below. Now, one of the things I have noticed about suburbs in Perth when I've been looking is that they have copied a lot of names from other places. Now, I know there's a Coogee in Sydney. Is Coogee in Western Australia just as good? Well, this 5-bedroom property with 2 bathrooms and 2 car parking spaces is on 443 square meters. And automatically I can see that it's got a lovely renovated kitchen with those fancy waterfall stone bench tops that everyone wants. That's one point on the poshness scale. A lovely outdoor entertaining area. Although small, there is a little bit of a space for the kids and an outdoor sink as well. They can wash their hands before they come in for dinner. Full driveway to fit multiple cars onto, and I guess you don't have to worry about maintenance. And this does definitely look like one of the more modern homes that we've looked at today. Everything's open plan, but from this angle I do get a bit of a tighter vibe. But then I guess it would be a little bit tight if you've got such a massive dining room table. This property's definitely got ducted aircon, and I know that the overall aesthetic of this is probably what most people are going to be looking for. Solar panels on the roof, a really large entrance hall, and it's got a chandelier. Second posh point. Finally, we've got a renovated bathroom with not quite a freestanding tub, but is that like a half freestanding tub? Is that half a posh point? Good sized master bedroom, balcony, and what looks to be in a cul-de-sac, which is what a lot of people are after. Study area, good sized bedrooms, another new bathroom, double bedrooms look a good size. That is a big old cooker and a nice new looking laundry area. But annoyingly again, I'm always concerned when you don't have a floor plan. Now close by on the map it looks like you've got a lake, and it definitely isn't far from the beach. There's some train tracks there, but I'm not sure where your closest train line is. And distance from the city, it isn't actually too far. I think some people might even prefer this house to the previous one for proximity. And in comparison to the last property, I'd say that this is better renovated, on a larger plot, and it's got that extra bedroom. So how much would you pay for this property in Coogee in Western Australia? Can you imagine how much this property would be if it was in Coogee in Sydney? Well, if you wanted this property today, you'd be expected to pay offers in excess of $895,000. Now to me, that seems like a reasonable price, especially in comparison to the cost of the previous one. Which one would you rather buy out of any of these properties so far? Now, unless you already live in Australia, if you're wanting to move to Perth and live out your best life in any of these properties or something like it, then you're going to have to make sure that you qualify for a visa. And if, like us, before we moved to Australia, you have no idea where to start, then speak to our friends True Blue Migration Services. They're one of Australia's largest and oldest group of MARA registered agents with hundreds of positive reviews on Google. Get yourself a free visa eligibility assessment when you mention that Johnston Life, and let them tell you for free your best chances of moving to Australia. We love getting told almost weekly about people just like you who've been able to realise their dreams of moving to Australia. So speak to them now at their website at www.truebluemigration.com. Now let's move on to the last property, and I don't know, have I saved the best till last? And in true form like the last property, I've gone with a name that I'm a bit familiar with. Now this is High Wycombe in Western Australia, but not High Wycombe in the UK. I looked at a house there once and I Didn't really want it. Too hilly. And I guess if you love wood and open fireplaces, this one could be for you. Don't they tell you that Perth is always hot? What do you need the fireplace for? Now, if you're looking for the modern look, I don't think this property is going to be for you. And if you wanted to remove all of the wood and the brick, that's going to be a decent amount of renovation. But I guess there is someone out there that's going to like this aesthetic charm with the beams and the brick. Now, that is a big master bedroom. But again, like some of the first properties we looked at, I'm not sure when this bathroom was last renovated. Bedrooms look a decent size, definitely old school light fittings, and they don't even want to pay for extra bulbs. But space for a good games room with like some kind of mezzanine at the top. Nice man cave. Now, this kitchen looks like it's seen better days, but it is a good size overall. Although livable at first, I guess if you did want to move here, you'd have to factor in some renovation costs for the kitchen too. And I guess the people that live here aren't super into drinking because they've got a library more than a bar. Not judging. Now, why is it in Australia that the baths are so weirdly sunken low? Can anyone explain that for me and let me know in the comments? Laundry room, another bedroom, I guess. Would you want that to be your bedroom? Now, it looks like a big outside area, but it looks like it has seen better days, unless you're really into potted plants. But there is a pool. Ah, you wouldn't really want to swim in that pool. How salvageable is that? It is huge, but I'm not sure of the last time it was used. And again, a nice big outdoor area, which looks like it could have been used for barbecues, but that garden has definitely seen better days. This is definitely a fixer-upper property. But when it is all fixed, you've got a nice hills hoist, so you can play Goon of Fortune with your mates. I'm not sure if it has a garage. And what is it with all of these Perth properties that don't have a floor plan? I've never seen so many properties that don't have floor plans on them, and it's all from Perth. Now, if you're not sure where High Wycombe is in relation to everything else, right near the airport, so I guess you're going to have some airport noise. And if you're wanting the beach lifestyle, I guess this one probably isn't for you. It definitely is one of the further properties away from the beach. But this property is set on more than 1,400 square meters, hence the massive back garden. I don't know, would you be buying this property to rip it down and then build something else on it? Or would you be buying this for your next family home and returning it to its former glory? Either way, if you wanted to buy this property in High Wycombe in its current state, you'd be expecting to pay over $900,000. Is this something that would interest you? Would any of the properties that we've looked at today be of interest to you? Or do they make you want to live the Perth lifestyle when you move to Australia? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure you share this to anyone who's looking at moving to Perth. And if you're interested in seeing the cost of houses in another city in Australia, then check this one out. See you next time.